Life is undeniably full of challenges, from small, everyday annoyances to major obstacles that can shake us to the core. It often feels like we're constantly navigating a sea of uncertainty and difficulty. Every stage of life presents a different set of challenges, whether they're personal, professional, or emotional. No one is exempt from facing tough times, and at some point we all encounter moments that test our strength and perseverance. It's important to recognize that challenges are an inevitable part of life. No matter how much we try to avoid them, they will always arise. Some of these challenges may feel insignificant at first, like a minor setback, while others may seem overwhelming and insurmountable, but understanding that challenges are part of the human experience allows us to approach them with a more balanced perspective. We aren't alone in facing them, they are shared by all, and this knowledge can offer comfort when times are tough. At the same time, the variety of challenges we face is what makes life so complex and dynamic. Some days we may deal with challenges related to our careers, such as an unexpected project or a difficult conversation with a colleague. On other days, we may face personal challenges like health issues, relationship struggles, or financial concerns. These challenges are what push us to grow and evolve. They test our limits, teach us valuable lessons, and force us to reevaluate our priorities. However, it's essential to remember that these challenges are not meant to break us, but to build us. What makes some challenges particularly hard to bear is the emotional toll they take. Facing difficulties can bring about feelings of frustration, helplessness, and even fear. The stress of not knowing what will happen next or how to solve a problem can sometimes overwhelm us. Yet it's in these very moments of vulnerability that we have the opportunity to learn how to be stronger and more resilient. The emotional roller coaster we experience in tough times is a natural response, but it's important not to let these emotions define us or our journey. Another critical aspect of life's challenges is their unpredictability. We may wake up one day and find ourselves facing a situation we didn't foresee, an unexpected loss, a sudden change in plans, or a new obstacle we weren't prepared for. These moments can feel like a shock to the system, and it's easy to fall into a mindset of frustration or defeat. But rather than seeing the unexpected as a setback, we can learn to view it as an opportunity for growth. Challenges often arise when we least expect them, but they can also present the greatest opportunities for change. It's also worth noting that while challenges are unavoidable, our mindset toward them can make all the difference. The way we perceive challenges can either make them feel unbearable or manageable. When we face a difficult situation with the mindset that it's just another hurdle to overcome rather than an insurmountable wall, we position ourselves for success. This shift in perspective can be empowering, as it allows us to approach challenges with a sense of confidence rather than dread. Finally, life's challenges provide context for the moments of peace and joy. Without the difficulties we face, we might not fully appreciate the times when things go smoothly or when we experience relief and happiness. Challenges serve as a contrast to our moments of ease, helping us value those times even more. They remind us that nothing is permanent and that both hardship and joy are fleeting. Embracing this reality helps us stay grounded and reminds us that no matter how difficult things may seem, they are just one part of the ever-changing journey we are on. One of the most powerful tools we have in navigating life's challenges is our ability to control our reactions. While we cannot always control the circumstances we find ourselves in, we can always control how we respond to them. This concept of response over reaction is a fundamental aspect of emotional intelligence and resilience. Learning to manage our reactions allows us to maintain a sense of control and composure regardless of the situation. When something challenging happens, our immediate reaction may be to feel anger, frustration, or fear. These initial emotions are natural and often arise without much thought. However, it's important to recognize that these reactions are not always productive. Reacting impulsively or emotionally to a situation can escalate the problem, lead to regretful actions, and create unnecessary stress. By pausing and taking a moment to assess the situation, we can choose a response that aligns with our values and helps us maintain our peace of mind. This ability to pause before reacting is often referred to as emotional regulation. It's a skill that can be developed over time with practice and mindfulness. Emotional regulation allows us to step back from the situation, take a deep breath, and consider the best course of action rather than acting on impulse. By practicing this pause, we create space between stimulus and response, giving ourselves the opportunity to make a more thoughtful and intentional decision. One of the most effective ways to control our reactions is through self-awareness. By understanding our triggers, those situations or people that provoke a strong emotional response, we can better prepare ourselves to handle them in a calm and measured way. Self-awareness involves recognizing our emotions as they arise and identifying what causes them. Once we become aware of our triggers, we can develop strategies to manage our reactions, such as deep breathing, counting to 10, or removing ourselves from a situation momentarily to regain composure. Control over our reactions also means taking responsibility for how we respond. It can be easy to blame others or external factors for our emotional state, but true empowerment comes when we recognize that we are the ones who hold the key to how we feel and act. By taking ownership of our emotions, we free ourselves from the influence of outside circumstances. We stop being reactive victims of our environment and instead become proactive agents in shaping our own emotional experiences. The power of controlling our reactions also lies in the way it impacts our relationships with others. When we respond calmly and thoughtfully to situations, we demonstrate emotional maturity and create an environment of respect and understanding. Whether in personal or professional settings, people are more likely to trust and value individuals who can maintain composure, even in difficult circumstances. By controlling our reactions, we foster better communication, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and strengthen our connections with others. In addition to benefiting our relationships, controlling our reactions can have a profound effect on our overall well-being. When we allow external situations to dictate our emotions, we place ourselves at the mercy of those circumstances. However, when we learn to regulate our responses, we preserve our mental and emotional health. We reduce stress, anxiety, and frustration, leading to a more peaceful and balanced life. The ability to control our reactions is not just about handling others or external events. It's also about protecting our own inner peace and well-being. The idea that peace is in our control may seem counterintuitive in a world where we are often bombarded with external pressures, challenges, and uncertainties. We tend to think of peace as something that comes from external circumstances, like a calm environment, positive relationships, or a smooth day at work. However, true peace comes from within and is something we have the power to nurture and protect, regardless of what is happening around us. The moment we understand that peace is a state of mind and not a condition dependent on external factors, we unlock the ability to maintain our tranquility no matter what life throws our way. First, it's important to recognize that peace isn't something that is constantly present, nor should it be taken for granted. Life will inevitably throw us curveballs, unexpected stress, personal loss, or disruptions in our daily routines. However, the way we navigate through these challenges determines whether we allow them to disturb our inner peace. When we view peace as a fragile thing, dependent on the perfect set of circumstances, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. True peace, on the other hand, is a mindset and a practice that we can cultivate even in the face of adversity. One key aspect of internal peace is the ability to detach ourselves from the drama and noise around us. It's easy to get caught up in other people's negativity or the chaos of a busy life, but if we learn to take a step back, create emotional boundaries, and observe situations from a neutral standpoint, we can protect our peace. This doesn't mean we ignore problems or shut ourselves off from the world. It simply means we don't let external chaos disrupt our inner state of calm. Another essential element of controlling our peace is practicing mindfulness, being present in the moment rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future is a powerful way to preserve peace. Mindfulness teaches us to focus on the here and now, allowing us to appreciate life as it is without the need for constant striving or anxiety. When we are mindful, we can calmly respond to whatever life presents without getting caught up in unnecessary stress. We learn to let go of the need for perfection and embrace life's flow, trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way. The ability to forgive also plays a crucial role in controlling our peace. Holding on to anger, resentment, or grudges ties us to negative emotions that disturb our inner calm. Forgiveness is a choice we make to release ourselves from the burden of bitterness and find peace in letting go of past hurts. When we choose to forgive, we free ourselves from the emotional weight that keeps us from experiencing peace. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it is a powerful tool for reclaiming our peace and emotional well-being. It's also important to remember that our thoughts directly influence our peace. Negative or destructive thinking can cause unnecessary worry, stress, and anxiety. By becoming more conscious of our thought patterns and learning how to shift from negativity to positivity, we create an environment for peace to thrive. Positive affirmations, gratitude, and reframing our challenges as opportunities for growth are all ways to foster peace of mind. Our thoughts shape our reality, and when we actively work on cultivating peace within our minds, we lay the foundation for a peaceful life. Lastly, self-care is an integral part of maintaining peace. When we neglect our physical, emotional, and mental well-being, we leave ourselves vulnerable to stress and overwhelm. Prioritizing self-care, whether it's through exercise, hobbies, meditation, or rest, replenishes our energy and strengthens our ability to stay grounded. When we take care of ourselves, we are better equipped to handle life's challenges with grace and poise. Self-care is not a luxury but a necessary for keeping our peace intact in an often chaotic world. One of the most common misconceptions about acting unbothered or staying calm is that it means ignoring problems altogether. This couldn't be further from the truth. Choosing to maintain your peace or act as if nothing bothers you does not equate to avoiding or ignoring the challenges in your life. Instead, it's about confronting problems head-on while maintaining emotional control, perspective, and a sense of calm. The difference lies in how you approach the issue, whether you react with frustration and stress or face it with a clear mind and purpose. Ignoring problems in the traditional sense might seem like a temporary solution. By avoiding difficult conversations, suppressing your emotions, or pretending that nothing is wrong, you might feel a fleeting sense of relief. However, this approach only leads to greater internal turmoil and doesn't solve the underlying issue. Over time, unresolved problems can fester and create more significant emotional distress. Ignoring them only compounds the situation, leading to feelings of anxiety, resentment, or even regret. The root of the problem remains unresolved and growing. In contrast, acting as if nothing bothers you means you are choosing to approach problems with composure and clarity. You acknowledge that challenges exist, but you don't let them dictate your emotional state. By facing difficulties calmly, you maintain a clearer perspective on the issue at hand, allowing you to find effective solutions. When we allow ourselves to be consumed by emotions like anger, frustration, or fear, it clouds our judgment and makes it harder to resolve problems. Choosing to remain unbothered helps us think more rationally and act with purpose rather than being driven by reactive emotions. This doesn't mean that you should dismiss the significance of problems or avoid dealing with difficult situations. Instead, it's about managing your emotional response to them. For example, in a challenging work situation, rather than letting frustration take over, you can choose to approach the problem with a solution-oriented mindset. Rather than focusing on what went wrong, you can focus on what you can do next to fix the issue. This proactive approach helps you take control of the situation instead of being swept away by negativity. Additionally, when you don't let problems overwhelm you emotionally, you maintain better relationships with those around you. If you are constantly reacting with stress or anxiety to every issue, it can create tension in your interactions. People may become uncomfortable or frustrated by your emotional volatility. On the other hand, if you approach problems with a sense of calm, others are more likely to feel comfortable working with you and collaborating on solutions. Your ability to stay composed creates a safe space for communication and problem solving. Another key aspect of not ignoring problems is setting boundaries. It's essential to recognize that not every issue requires an immediate emotional reaction or intervention. Sometimes, problems can be put into perspective by taking a step back and assessing whether it is worth your emotional energy. By setting boundaries around what you allow to disturb your peace, you can preserve your energy for more important matters. For example, some conflicts may be better addressed at a later time when you are more calm and level-headed, rather than reacting impulsively in the moment. Finally, acknowledging problems while maintaining your peace helps you develop resilience. Life will always present difficulties, and while ignoring them might provide a short-term escape, it does nothing to prepare you for the future. When you face challenges head-on with a calm, controlled demeanor, you become more adaptable and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. You develop emotional strength, learning that problems are a natural part of life, but they do not have to define your emotional state or disrupt your peace. By choosing to address problems directly with poise and purpose, you build the resilience necessary to thrive in a world that is always changing. Resilience is often described as the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover quickly from setbacks, and to keep going despite challenges. In the context of maintaining peace and acting as if nothing bothers you, resilience becomes the foundation that allows you to navigate life's difficulties without being overwhelmed. It is the mental and emotional strength that enables you to weather the storms of life while staying grounded and composed. Developing resilience is not just about enduring hardships, but about growing stronger and wiser as a result of them. One of the first steps in building resilience is accepting that challenges and setbacks are a natural part of life. Many people become frustrated or discouraged when faced with adversity, believing that they should be able to avoid or control difficult situations. However, the key to resilience is the understanding that difficulties are inevitable, and it is our response to them that determines how we cope. By reframing our perspective, we can see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. This shift in mindset allows us to approach difficulties with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. Resilience also involves developing emotional flexibility. This means being able to adapt to changing circumstances without becoming emotionally stuck or overwhelmed. Life rarely goes according to plan, and unexpected changes are a given. Resilient individuals are those who can adjust their expectations, alter their course, and move forward even when things don't go as expected. Emotional flexibility allows you to maintain your peace even when life feels unpredictable. Instead of getting caught up in disappointment or frustration, you learn to embrace the unpredictability and trust that you have the strength to face whatever comes next. Another key component of resilience is having a strong sense of purpose. People who are resilient often have a clear sense of what they want to achieve and why it matters to them. This purpose acts as an anchor during challenging times, reminding them that setbacks are temporary and that their ultimate goal is worth the struggle. Whether it's a personal, professional, or spiritual goal, having a sense of purpose provides direction and motivation, even when obstacles arise. It allows you to stay focused and positive despite the bumps along the way. When you know what you're working toward, the difficulties you face become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Developing resilience also requires fostering a positive mindset. A resilient person sees challenges as temporary and believes that with effort and persistence, they can overcome them. Negative thinking, on the other hand, can keep you trapped in a cycle of defeat and hopelessness. Learning to shift your thoughts from "I can't" to "I can" makes a profound difference in how you approach life's difficulties. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring the harsh realities of life, but rather choosing to focus on potential solutions and the belief that you are capable of overcoming any challenge. Support networks also play a significant role in building resilience. While resilience is often viewed as an individual trait, having a strong support system can make a huge difference. Surrounding yourself with people who are positive, supportive, and understanding can help you maintain your peace and perspective when things get tough. These relationships provide a source of strength, encouragement, and perspective when you're facing difficulties. They remind you that you're not alone and that together you can overcome challenges. Building and nurturing these connections is an important part of developing resilience, as they offer both emotional and practical support during times of hardship. Lastly, resilience is strengthened through self-care. Taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional well-being is essential in building the inner strength needed to face life's difficulties. When you prioritize self-care, you are better equipped to handle stress, recover from setbacks, and stay focused on your goals. Resilient individuals understand the importance of rest, relaxation, and activities that rejuvenate the body and mind. Whether it's exercise, hobbies, meditation, or simply taking time to relax, self-care plays a crucial role in maintaining your energy and resilience in the face of adversity. When you take care of yourself, you become more adaptable and ready to face whatever challenges life throws your way. Stress is one of the most common and debilitating emotions we experience in life. It has the potential to affect every aspect of our well-being, our physical health, our mental clarity, and our emotional state. The idea of letting go of stress may seem easier said than done. especially in a world that constantly demands more from us. However, learning how to release stress is an essential skill for preserving our peace and maintaining a balanced, healthy life. When we allow stress to take control, it disrupts our ability to think clearly, make good decisions, and respond to challenges with composure. Letting go of stress is not about ignoring problems, but about choosing not to let them overpower our sense of calm. The first step in letting go of stress is recognizing when it's taking hold of us. Often we carry stress without fully realizing the extent of its impact. It may manifest as physical tension like tight muscles or headaches, or emotional signs such as irritability or anxiety. Becoming aware of these signs is crucial because it allows us to take action before stress escalates. By tuning into our bodies and minds, we can identify stress early and take steps to release it before it affects our well-being. Mindfulness practices such as paying attention to our breathing or noticing physical tension can help us become more aware of stress as it arises. Once we recognize stress, the next step is learning to manage it effectively. One powerful tool for managing stress is the practice of deep breathing. Deep, slow breaths activate the body's relaxation response, helping to reduce the physiological effects of stress, such as a racing heart or shallow breathing. Taking just a few minutes to focus on deep, intentional breaths can calm the nervous system, clear the mind, and bring our attention back to the present moment. Deep breathing, along with other techniques like progressive muscle relaxation or visualization, can be invaluable tools for letting go of stress in real time. Another important strategy for releasing stress is to set boundaries and manage our time effectively. A significant source of stress comes from feeling overwhelmed by the sheer number of demands placed on us. By learning to say no, delegate tasks, and prioritize what truly matters, we can reduce the stress that comes from trying to do everything at once. Setting clear boundaries with others and with ourselves allows us to protect our time and energy, reducing the pressure to constantly perform or meet unrealistic expectations. Time management techniques such as breaking tasks into smaller steps or creating a schedule can help alleviate the feeling of being constantly under pressure. In addition to time management, letting go of stress requires a shift in mindset. Often we hold on to stress because we believe it is necessary to get things done or to meet certain expectations. However, this belief is based on the misconception that stress is a motivator. In reality, chronic stress undermines productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. Shifting our perspective to understand that we can accomplish our goals without the burden of stress allows us to operate more effectively and peacefully. Embracing a mindset of calmness rather than urgency helps us stay focused and productive without succumbing to the pressure of stress. Stress is also closely tied to our thoughts. Negative thinking patterns, such as worrying about the future or ruminating on the past, can perpetuate stress. When we are constantly focused on what might go wrong or what has already happened, we become trapped in a cycle of anxiety and unease. Letting go of stress means letting go of these unhelpful thought patterns. Cognitive techniques, such as reframing or challenging negative thoughts, can help break this cycle. By focusing on what we can control and staying present in the moment, we shift our mindset away from stress-inducing thoughts and toward a more balanced, peaceful state of mind. Lastly, engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation is essential in letting go of stress. Whether it's spending time in nature, practicing a hobby, or simply relaxing with a good book or movie, Taking time for ourselves helps recharge our energy and gives us a break from life's demands. These moments of relaxation are not indulgent, but necessary for our mental and emotional health. When we make space for activities that nourish us, we are better able to handle life's challenges without becoming overwhelmed. By prioritizing self-care and incorporating stress-relieving activities into our routines, we ensure that we remain balanced and equipped to manage whatever comes our way. In today's fast-paced world, peace often feels like a luxury, something we can only enjoy when everything else is in order. But peace is not a commodity that should be traded for temporary distractions or external validations. It is, in fact, priceless, and learning to prioritize it above all else is essential for our mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When we view peace as a priceless asset, we begin to understand that it's worth protecting, nurturing, and guarding at all costs, even when the world around us seems chaotic and overwhelming. The first step in valuing your peace is understanding that it is a choice. We are often under the impression that peace is something that happens to us based on external conditions, such as a relaxing vacation, a calm environment, or harmonious relationship. While these factors can contribute to peace, true peace is cultivated from within. It's the ability to choose how we respond to the challenges life throws at us, not allowing external circumstances to dictate our inner calm. When we recognize that peace is not something given to us, but something we create, we empower ourselves to make decisions that preserve it. In the process of valuing your peace, it's important to set boundaries. Many people unknowingly allow their peace to be disrupted because they fail to establish healthy boundaries. Whether it's allowing toxic people into our lives, overcommitting ourselves, or engaging in negative self-talk, these actions chip away at our peace over time. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or distancing ourselves from others. It's about knowing what we need to protect our peace and ensuring that we prioritize our emotional and mental well-being. Learning to say no to things that drain us or compromise our inner calm is an essential step in protecting our priceless peace. Another critical aspect of valuing peace is recognizing the difference between what we can and cannot control. Often, we spend an inordinate amount of time and energy trying to control situations, outcomes, and people, believing that if we just manage everything perfectly, we'll achieve peace. However, this constant need for control only creates stress and frustration. True peace comes from accepting that there are things beyond our control, and that's okay. When we let go of the need to control everything, we free ourselves from the anxiety of trying to shape every moment, and we allow peace to enter our lives naturally. In addition to letting go of control, we must learn to let go of grudges and past hurts. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret keeps us tethered to negative emotions that disturb our peace. The weight of unresolved issues can drain our energy and make it difficult to experience the joy of living in the present moment. Forgiveness, whether it's forgiving others or ourselves, is a powerful act of reclaiming peace. When we let go of past wounds, we release the power that those memories have over our emotions, allowing us to experience freedom and peace in the present. Another important factor in valuing your peace is the understanding that peace is not synonymous with passivity. Some people may mistakenly think that valuing their peace means avoiding conflict or never addressing problems. However, true peace comes from having the courage to confront challenges in a way that aligns with your values. rather than running from them. It's about acting with purpose, taking steps to resolve issues, and standing firm in your convictions, all while maintaining your emotional balance. Conflict can be a natural part of life, but how we handle it determines whether we maintain our peace or lose it. Finally, remember that your peace is an investment in every aspect of your life. When you prioritize peace, you not only improve your mental health, but also your physical health, relationships, and overall quality of life. Peace allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and approach life with a positive, open attitude. It creates a space for creativity, productivity, and joy. Just like any valuable asset, your peace requires regular care and attention. When you treat it as priceless, you ensure that it remains a constant, steady force in your life, helping you to navigate whatever comes your way with grace and resilience. In a world where conflict and drama often seem to be around every corner, choosing peace is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Drama tends to thrive on chaos, emotion, and a lack of resolution, drawing people into unnecessary conflicts or emotional roller coasters. On the other hand, peace is a state of calm, clarity, and resolution, free from the constant turmoil that drama brings. Choosing peace is not just about avoiding drama. It's about making a conscious decision to prioritize your emotional well-being and maintain inner balance, even when external circumstances try to pull you into turmoil. One of the first steps in choosing peace over drama is recognizing when you're being drawn into situations that serve no purpose. Drama often feeds on exaggerated emotions, misunderstandings, and unresolved issues. It thrives in environments where people react impulsively, fueled by frustration, anger, or pride. However, when you become aware of these triggers, you can make a more intentional decision to disengage. You don't have to participate in every argument or conflict that comes your way. By recognizing the signs of drama early, you can choose to step away from the situation and preserve your peace rather than getting caught in the emotional whirlwind. Choosing peace also means developing emotional maturity. It's easy to be reactive and fall into patterns of drama when emotions are high. However, responding impulsively to conflict rarely leads to positive outcomes. Emotional maturity is the ability to pause, reflect, and then respond in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals. Instead of reacting to drama with more drama, emotional maturity helps you maintain a calm demeanor, think clearly, and make thoughtful decisions. When you choose peace over drama, you develop a deeper sense of self-control, which not only preserves your inner calm, but also contributes to healthier relationships. Another aspect of choosing peace is learning how to communicate effectively. Drama often arises from misunderstandings, poor communication, or unspoken expectations. By practicing clear, honest, and compassionate communication, you can prevent many of the issues that lead to drama. When you are able to express yourself calmly and listen actively to others, you create an environment where conflict is resolved in a healthy, constructive manner. Choosing peace means choosing to communicate in a way that fosters understanding rather than exacerbating tension and confusion. Furthermore, when you choose peace over drama, you take responsibility for your own emotions and reactions. It's easy to blame others for causing stress or turmoil in our lives, but ultimately we have control over how we respond. Drama often thrives when we allow ourselves to be overly affected by the actions of others. When we take ownership of our emotional responses, we empower ourselves to remain centered and not let external events dictate our internal state. This shift in perspective helps you maintain peace, regardless of what's happening around you. By choosing peace, you decide not to give others the power to disturb your tranquility. Choosing peace also involves setting boundaries. Sometimes we find ourselves in dramatic situations because we allow others to overstep our personal limit. Whether it's tolerating disrespectful behavior, engaging in unnecessary drama with friends or family, or participating in conversations that drain our energy, boundaries are essential for preserving peace. Setting clear boundaries means saying no to things that don't serve your well-being and protecting your energy. It's not about being harsh or distant, but about ensuring that you don't get caught up in drama or emotional upheaval unnecessarily. Finally, choosing peace over drama requires self-awareness and self-care. Often when we are emotionally drained or stressed, we are more susceptible to getting involved in drama. By practicing self-care, whether it's through rest, meditation, exercise, or pursuing hobbies, you ensure that you are in a healthy state of mind to handle life's challenges. When you feel balanced and rejuvenated, you are less likely to be drawn into unnecessary conflicts or negative situations. Self-care strengthens your ability to choose peace and make decisions that align with your values rather than reacting to external pressures or engaging in drama. When we think of strength, it's easy to imagine physical power or the ability to handle intense situations with brute force. However, true strength goes much deeper than that. The most enduring and reliable strength comes from within, the inner resilience and fortitude that help us navigate life's challenges, not because we can muscle through them, but because we have developed the emotional, mental, and spiritual resources to withstand hardship with grace. This internal strength is what allows us to remain calm in the face of adversity, to bounce back from setbacks, and to continue moving forward despite obstacles. The foundation of inner strength is self-awareness. When you truly understand yourself, your values, and your limits, you are in a better position to handle difficult situations. Self-awareness allows you to assess your strengths and weaknesses, making it easier to adapt to challenges in a way that aligns with your authentic self. It's only when we lack self-awareness that we react impulsively or feel overwhelmed by emotion. By getting to know ourselves, our fears, desires, triggers, and capabilities, we build a sense of inner strength that comes from knowing who we are and what we are capable of enduring. Another key component of inner strength is emotional regulation. Life will always throw challenges our way, but how we react to them determines whether we experience turmoil or remain grounded. Emotional regulation means having the ability to pause, reflect, and choose how we respond to our emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather understanding and managing them so that they don't control our actions. By developing emotional intelligence, we can handle stress, disappointment, or frustration in a way that maintains our peace, rather than letting those emotions spiral out of control and dictate our responses. Resilience is closely linked to inner strength. Resilience is the ability to recover from adversity, to keep going despite failure or difficulty, and to learn from our experiences. It's not about never facing challenges, but about how we face them and what we take from them. True strength doesn't mean avoiding failure or hardship, but being able to rise up after a fall and continue on the path toward our goals. Resilient individuals are able to look at difficult situations not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset shift is essential for cultivating lasting strength, as it allows us to see every experience as a chance to become stronger. Developing inner strength also requires a sense of self-compassion. Many people think that strength comes from being tough or unyielding, but in reality, true strength lies in the ability to be kind to oneself. When we are gentle with ourselves in times of struggle, we allow room for growth and healing. Instead of beating ourselves up for mistakes or failures, we offer ourselves grace and encouragement. This self-compassion builds confidence and mental resilience as we recognize that we don't have to be perfect to be strong. Accepting our imperfections and embracing them as part of our journey helps us to move forward with strength and determination. In addition to self-compassion, inner strength grows through a commitment to personal growth. Strength is not something that comes overnight, nor is it static. It is something we build over time through consistent effort and reflection. Personal growth involves challenging ourselves, stepping outside of our comfort zones, and embracing discomfort as a catalyst for change. When we actively seek to improve ourselves, whether it's learning new skills, expanding our knowledge, or developing healthier habits, we cultivate the internal strength that allows us to face challenges with confidence and poise. Strength is a dynamic, evolving process that deepens with each step we take toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Lastly, inner strength is sustained through a deep connection to purpose. When we have a clear sense of purpose, something that drives us, something meaningful, we are more resilient in the face of adversity. Purpose acts as a compass, helping us navigate through challenges and stay focused on what truly matters. It gives us the motivation to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead is difficult. Whether it's a personal mission, a professional goal, or a spiritual calling, having purpose provides the inner strength to face hardships with determination and resolve. When we align our actions with our purpose, we tap into a wellspring of strength that cannot be easily shaken by external circumstances. In life, we cannot always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. The ability to decide how we react to situations is one of the most powerful tools we have for maintaining peace and personal strength. Reactions, especially when fueled by anger, frustration, or fear, often escalate situations and leave us feeling drained or regretful. However, when we take a moment to pause and consciously choose how we react, we gain the power to shape our experience and protect our emotional well-being. The way we choose to react can transform a potential crisis into an opportunity for growth, calmness, and understanding. The first step in deciding how we react is awareness. Many of us operate on autopilot, reacting to events without pausing to consider our options. We may lash out in anger or retreat into silence without even recognizing why we feel compelled to do so. Becoming aware of our emotional triggers is the key to breaking this cycle. When we understand what causes us to react impulsively, whether it's stress, insecurity, or external pressures, we can take a step back and evaluate the situation more thoughtfully. Awareness allows us to catch our initial reactions and choose a response that aligns with our values and goals, rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. Once we are aware of our emotions, the next step is to practice self-control. Self-control is not about suppressing emotions, but about choosing to respond in a way that is thoughtful and measured. For example, if we feel anger rising in a difficult conversation, we can choose to take a deep breath, collect our thoughts, and speak calmly instead of allowing that anger to dictate our words and actions. Self-control helps us to create a space between stimulus and response, allowing us to process the situation and act in a way that reflects our best self. By mastering self-control, we prevent knee-jerk reactions that might lead to regret or unnecessary conflict. Another important aspect of deciding how we react is developing emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand our own emotions as well as the emotions of others. It enables us to manage our emotions in healthy ways and navigate social interactions with empathy and insight. When we are emotionally intelligent, we can step into another person's shoes and see the situation from their perspective, which can influence how we choose to react. For example, if we are upset with someone, emotional intelligence allows us to pause and ask ourselves why they might be acting the way they are, helping us to choose a response that is compassionate rather than reactive. By cultivating emotional intelligence, we empower ourselves to respond to people and situations with empathy and wisdom. In addition to emotional intelligence, perspective plays a crucial role in how we react. Often our reactions are influenced by our perceptions of the situation, which can be clouded by bias or limited understanding. Taking the time to view a situation from multiple angles can help us to respond with a clearer mind. For example, if we face criticism at work, we might initially feel defensive or upset. However, by stepping back and considering the feedback objectively, focusing on how it can help us grow or improve, we are more likely to respond with gratitude or a desire to learn rather than with hostility or frustration. A shift in perspective allows us to take control of our reactions and choose responses that are constructive and empowering. Another factor in deciding how we react is understanding the long-term consequences of our actions. Often, in the heat of the moment, we react without considering the aftermath. However, when we pause and think about how our reactions will affect our relationships, reputation, or emotional state in the future, we can make more thoughtful choices. Reacting impulsively may provide temporary relief or a sense of satisfaction, but it often leads to regret or worsens the situation in the long run. By considering the bigger picture and the potential consequences of our reactions, we can choose responses that align with our long-term goals and values, ensuring that we don't sacrifice our peace for short-term gratification. Lastly, choosing how we react also involves taking responsibility for our emotions and actions. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for our reactions, but ultimately, we are responsible for how we respond. When we take ownership of our emotions, we reclaim our power and agency in every situation. Instead of blaming someone else for making us angry or upset, we can recognize that we have the ability to choose our response. Taking responsibility for how we react not only empowers us, but also fosters personal growth. It allows us to break free from the cycle of reactive behavior and move toward a more mindful, intentional way of living. By owning our responses, we create space for growth, healing, and more harmonious interactions with others.